Hey, you fucking pricks. It's Lamentable Podcast here with another episode of Lamentable Podcast. As always, your hosts, Josh and Kyle. Episode 27? We go over this every time.
Yeah, we lost count. We were good for a while, but we forgot.
Yeah, it's an episode, so it doesn't matter what number it is. We got our Labats, of course. Labats, the offer still stands. You still know. Just email us. That's all you gotta do. Be like, yo, guys got a sick-ass podcast, and you drink our sick-ass beers.
Yep.
That's all you gotta do. Just hit us up.
Like, literally anybody. You want to sponsor us, just do it.
Yeah. You want to invest lots of money into a YouTube channel that gets, like, no views and no consistent viewership. Hit us up, yo.
It's good place to put your money, definitely.
Good
investment.
Yeah, it definitely won't be spent on food and beer. Anyways, yeah, so it's been a couple weeks since we've done a podcast because we filmed a different kind of video last week. If you haven't watched that, you definitely need to go watch that now. I think it's one of the better videos we've made in a while. Mostly because we've only done 2 skits so far anyways, so I don't even know if that really counts as a skit.
I mean, it is. It's basically a skit.
It's
just a meme video. I don't know.
But our parody rap cipher that we did, you definitely have to go take a look at that. It's pretty exciting. High quality as fuck, of course.
Definitely. Yep. It's gonna launch us into the new age where we become
the biggest YouTubers of all time. Yep, it's bound to happen. I knew it was going to happen at some point. As soon as we dropped that video, we just started to blow the fuck up, you know?
Definitely.
But yeah. So what's up with you, Kyle?
Not a whole lot. I've just been working when I can. It's been hot as fuck.
Yeah, true.
So normally I hate the heat, but I've just been like, I actually have to go to work, so I've been forcing myself to go when it's 95 degrees outside every day.
Yeah.
That's fun.
The last, week has been just straight.
It's been, 8 or 9 days straight of 95, 90-plus degrees, which is, I don't know if it's a record for this area, but it's pretty close.
It's close. I saw a thing. Actually, the temperature might be a record, but Lake Erie or whatever had almost its highest temperature. I don't know if it was highest of all time or highest for this time, but it was 4 degrees off from the highest it's been.
Water temperature?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, it's usually 40 degrees cooler, the water.
I'm not
probably
sure.
More than that, probably 40, 50 degrees cooler.
It was just something that I saw. I wasn't really paying attention to it too much. Something about the water and the temperature and it being close to being the record or some
I'm sure
shit.
it's been hot, so it's definitely possible. But yes, I don't know. My one yearly NASCAR trip got canceled because of coronavirus. So instead, we're just going to another NASCAR race, which is this week. I mean, well, the Watkins Glen trip hadn't been canceled yet when we made the plans for this event. The All-Star race, as they call it. It's at Bristol Motor Speedway this year. So that's interesting. But yeah, they canceled Watkins Glen because, I don't know, they didn't want... All the teams are located in North Carolina, and they didn't want people from North Carolina coming to New York, I guess.
So stupid. Everything is going to open back up, and New York's going to be, closed for the next, 5 years. It doesn't even matter what happens.
I don't know what they expect. There's no way there's ever going to be 0 cases. At some point, you have to be okay. That's the same thing with, all these other sports starting up. Jimmy Johnson just got COVID last week or whatever, and he missed a race because of it. And it's you can't, if you're going to restart, you can't be well, if we get any cases, it's over. You have to expect it. You just have to make sure that there's not 1 billion cases and it's spreading rapidly. That's the problem.
So what it's eventually, it's going to turn to be, just it's probably going to happen seasonally now, but it's probably going to be like as light as the flu at that point. It's going to come back like every year around spring, summertime, and it's going to be like another flu. I'm sure the first time the flu came around, people were like, bruh, what the fuck?
I mean, the problem with the virus is that it's a new virus, and we've never seen it before, so we don't know what it does.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We could get it multiple times, or you could get it once, and then like 50 years from now, you could end up with another disease because of it. That's what happens with like chicken pox. Or if you get chicken pox, you just have the shingles virus in you. So when you become old, you just get shingles.
Yeah. I don't know. All I know is it's getting tiring, and I'm tired of it.
Yeah, it's tiring, but oh well. So I get at least one trip this summer. My summer's not completely ruined. I get to go to Tennessee for the race, where they're doing a lot of weird rules and stuff. The cars are just going to have neon, like ricers, I guess, for no reason, because it's funny. I don't know.
It sounds pretty cool, though.
They're just going to have neon. I don't know. It's going to be lit.
Is it a night race?
Yeah, it's a night race.
Sick. So, I mean, I probably should have assumed that, since I have neon.
It's this Wednesday night, July 15th. I don't know when this video will come out, probably tomorrow, but July 15th is the race.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, Today is Friday, July 11th.
I'm going to have to watch...
Or Saturday, right? I don't remember what day it is anymore. I think it's Saturday.
Today's Saturday, yeah. Today's Saturday the 11th.
7-Eleven. We didn't get our free Slurpees.
Probably can't even go into a fucking... They probably didn't even do that this year.
I think they did it, but they always do it during like weird hours. You can do it between like 11 and 7 p.m. or something like that. And
do you remember when I was staying at your house and they did the fucking...
Oh, yeah, I know.
Bring your own cup thing?
Yeah.
We took coffee makers.
We took coffee fucking pots. They were just like, sure.
That was sick as fuck. And then later that night, I'm pretty sure we put alcohol in them. Or I did.
I think we did, yeah.
I don't remember. It was a while ago now.
Yeah, this was a couple of years ago. This was probably
but we
3
just,
or 4 years ago now.
Just put them in the fucking freezer. We're like, well, we got a whole fucking 2 coffee pots full of fucking Slurpee now.
That's pretty lit.
I want to do that again. Even though I didn't even drink the whole thing anyways. Because that's just way too much Slurpee.
I drank it, but I don't remember. This was years ago, like I said.
I worked at 7-Eleven for a while. And since I worked there, I have not eaten or drank anything from 7-Eleven because I just got so sick of it. I used to drink their Slurpees and their coffee all the time, and then I'd eat like the fucking roller dogs and shit like that when I was working. Fucking now it's just repulsive to me.
It's the same thing with when I worked at Panera, and I worked at Pizza Hut, and I worked at New York Beer Project. Just fucking... I just haven't. I've had Pizza Hut a couple times since then. I still like Pizza Hut. I just didn't want to see those people. But now the Pizza Hut in Lockport is just closed. Straight up closed.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the deal is with that. I saw a thing. They said that like the largest franchise owner in Pizza Hut
went bankrupt.
Was filing for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So I assume they owned our local Pizza Hut, and that's why it closed.
It could be.
I'm guessing that's what happened. And then Panera. I mean, I was never a big fan of Panera anyway. They're kind of overpriced. Their food's okay, but it's just overpriced.
Yeah, they have a couple things that I like, but a lot of it seems bland to me.
And then the New York Beer Project is just crap. Everyone thinks it's such a high-quality restaurant. It's a fucking bar. It's a Denny's with a bar. That's what I call it. That's what I say it is. It's a Denny's with a bar. It's just fucking generic-ass food. It's just they have a brewery, so everyone's like, oh, it's so nice there.
Yeah, I never really got the hype over that either. I think it's just because a large quantity of people can go there at the same time. That's why it's so popular. They get their social interaction in.
Yeah.
But because they can hold like 400 people at a time.
I'd rather just go to a regular bar and drink cheap beer and get wings and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a fuck.
I need a 5-course meal with my whiskey.
Yeah.
I don't know. Doesn't really make much sense to me. I went there a couple times.
It's trendy because it has a fucking brewery in it. That's literally all it is.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
But yeah. So I'm going on that trip.
What is the plan for that? Since you said you're leaving tomorrow?
I am leaving on Tuesday morning.
Oh.
Driving down there. It's like a 10-hour drive. And then we're going to get there. We're going to go to the hotel. We're going to stay 2 nights in the hotel. The day of the race, Wednesday, we're going to wake up early. And we're just going to go tailgate all day. And the race starts at like 7 o'clock. So we're going to get there at like 11 a.m. and just tailgate for like 8 hours.
Lit.
Because we have literally nothing else to do. So we're just going to do that.
I wish I had shit to do this summer. Everything that I like to do during the summertime is canceled.
Well, it's fucking in Tennessee, and Tennessee just doesn't give a fuck. They're
Yeah.
just like, oh, wear a mask if you want. And I'm like, okay.
I was so hyped. Literally since last year, since we went to that Kentucky fucking festival, I was like, oh man, I can't wait for next year. Oh wow, I can't wait for next year.
Yeah, and then they like hyped it up. They're like, oh, Metallica's gonna be there for 4 days.
Yeah.
And then they're like, lol, nope.
They canceled Metallica, and I was like, oh damn, that's a bummer. And then they were like, oh, Metallica's coming back. And we were like, oh, cool. And then they were like, oh, by the way, the whole thing's canceled now. Oh.
Yeah.
But I mean, it makes sense, being one of like the biggest rock festivals of all time.
There's so many fucking. We were there last year. There was a fuck ton of people there, and it was super hot.
Your mic's muted.
It is still muted. Okay. There was a fuck ton of people there, and it was super hot, and fucking like, there's no way those people. Plus, it's in Kentucky, so there's no way those people would want to wear masks or anything like that.
Fuck no! It was like 95 every day.
But yeah, even if it doesn't even matter, it's way too hot to wear a mask. You could barely breathe as it was, let alone with a fucking piece of cloth over your face.
And at points we were up front, there was just people, just hundreds of people packed together in little fucking areas.
Yeah, it's really bad. The closer you get to the front, the tighter it gets. It's so bad.
Yeah, it was really, really hot.
Yeah.
Just standing there, and you were just fucking...
Like, literally, we were at the front. We would get out... Once you got out of, like, the front part of, like, the group of people, like, it was, like, literally, like, 20, 30 degrees cooler when you just weren't surrounded by a fuck ton of people.
It was super lit, though. It was so cool. I've been so hyped up about it since we got home. I was like, oh, man, I wonder what next year's gonna be like. And then they kept announcing more and more shit. They're like, this is going to be the biggest year ever. We're adding a 4th day. Metallica's going to come. It's like, all right, it's lit. This is going to be fucking insane. And then like, virus time. I'm like, okay, thank you. So I'm hoping next year they're going to be like, oh yeah, literally every major band of all time is ever going to be there. And it's going to be 6 days. Yeah. It's like, okay.
Just a whole week straight.
I would do it. I don't give a fuck.
If we could get that place that we camped at the last time, which I think we could, because apparently no one knows that place exists.
We were the only ones there.
We were literally... It was us, and then there was, like, other people camping, like, 100 yards away.
And those people were just there camping.
And they were just there camping. And then there was someone, like, way on the other side of the campground with a trailer and horses or something like that. But we were literally the only people there. And we were there all weekend. And we were the only people there.
It was so
sick. And it was super cheap, too.
I couldn't believe it. I was worried that we were going to have to buy, like, hotels and shit. And then we were just like, oh, this campground is $12 a night.
I was just looking at stuff. I was like, cheap campgrounds in, like, the Louisville, Kentucky area. This place was in Indiana, which was, like, 30 minutes away. And I was like, huh. And I called them up, and they were like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. This is what you got to do. And I'm like, all right.
We got there at, like, 2 in the morning.
Yeah, we got there super late. We didn't have any other lights, so we had to use the car's headlights to set up the camp.
Yeah. And our fucking phones.
Yeah. Fun stuff. And then there was no electricity or anything, so we had to go to the truck stop down the road to charge our phones and stuff.
Yeah.
And get food. Even though we had food to make, but...
Yeah, our sausages and shit.
Sausages that we bought at this cheap-ass grocery store. We probably talked about this already, but...
Yeah, I think so.
But I don't know, fun times.
Yeah, it was super sick. The only thing I like to do during the warmer months is go to concerts, and now there's no concerts, so there's literally nothing for me to do.
And then there's absolutely no way, even in September, there's no way that we're going to be able to go to Bills games.
Mm-mm.
You have to have season tickets. If they even let people in, you're going to have season tickets to be allowed in.
Yeah, they already banned tailgating All the lots are going to be closed off.
That's stupid.
But I guarantee you they're going to be happening elsewhere.
Yeah, like the people's houses that are like down the road, I'm sure they'll have tailgating. Like the not owned by the stadium.
Yeah, something will happen, I'm sure.
I'm sure people will do it. I want to try and go to tailgate. Not that there was a lot of games this year that I really wanted to go to anyway, because, I mean, I wanted to go last year because they played the Ravens.
I'll rent a big TV or something, and we'll just throw parties or something every Sunday. There's a couple primetime games. That's what I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Just the 4 primetime games, because the Bills have, like, literally, like, never had 4 primetime games.
Not since, like, the 90s, probably, and even then, I don't think they had that many.
Yeah. But, I don't know. I think we're going to win 2 of them and lose 2 of them. That's the way I'm looking at it. Because, we could win all of them, honestly. I don't know. I haven't really been paying attention to football too much.
Oh, yeah, I haven't put a whole lot of thought into it. I usually don't think much about it until, like, August.
Yeah. But that's pretty much the only thing that I have to look forward to is football. Right now, everything's just a standstill. But, everyone else's lives is a standstill, too, so...
Yeah.
You get to go see a fucking NASCAR race, though. That's sick.
Yes. It's gonna be lit, dude. And then... Yeah, after that, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then... Speaking of football, I have fantasy football. If the season happens... I think the season's gonna happen, but...
There's no way the NFL gives up.
The NFL will have a season. It's just some players might not want to play. That's the only thing that I would think happens.
Yeah,
the season will go on. It's just some players might be like, hey, I'm not playing this year.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs already said he doesn't feel comfortable playing this year.
Which I understand.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's just, I don't know. That's going to make fantasy football this year a complete crapshoot.
It's like, only practice squads are playing this year, lol.
As if fantasy football's not already a crapshoot, but...
Maybe they'll do that thing. Enough people won't play where they'll just start bringing random people onto the play for the teams.
Like they did in, like, the 80s or whatever, because they had a lockout.
Yeah, we'll just go fucking show up.
They were just signing people off the street.
It's like, can I be something? They're like, we got people.
Yeah, I'm sure all those XFL guys are probably like, oh shit, I'll sign a fucking contract. Let's go.
Sign a 16-week contract for like 10 grand. It's like, oh, lit. That'd be so sick.
Be a long snapper.
I don't know what I'd be. I'm probably too short to be anything.
I'm way too small to be literally anything. Maybe a running back, but I'm not fast either, so...
It'd be so fun. It's like, lol, now I'm on an NFL team for no reason. Haha. That'd be so cool. Play some big-time football just because everyone else didn't want to.
Sick.
Whatever.
I'll do it. So, yeah.
I wonder if they'd ever do that for a NASCAR. They're like, hey, do you know how to drive?
I mean, I don't know. There's enough drivers everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing with football. There's enough football players that want to be in the NFL that don't make it that would still be able to play.
Yeah, I feel with like NASCAR, they would just bring people up from the lower series.
They would just keep bringing people up. It's the same with football. They would just bring up people from the colleges that never signed and people from like arena leagues and the Canadian league that they didn't sign.
It would be cool though.
And the NHL is starting up in like I think it's August 1st they start. And the 2 cities they're in are Toronto and Edmonton. So that's interesting. Which makes sense because Canada has a lot lower cases than America does, so.
Is that the only place they're doing games?
Yeah, just Toronto and Edmonton.
Oh, damn.
All the Eastern teams are going to be in Edmonton, and all the Western teams are going to be in Toronto. So that no one has, like, home field advantage. Home ice advantage, I guess.
Oh, fair enough.
And then they're going to do the finals in Edmonton.
Are they going to be able to do that, though? Like, the amount of games that everybody plays?
They're going to have to
be like 5 games a day?
Yeah, they're literally doing 5-6 games a day.
Holy fuck. That'll be insane.
So that'll be fun. even though both the teams that I like are not in it, so I have literally no reason to watch. So that's unfortunate.
Are they continuing off last season, or are they starting a new one?
They're finishing this season, like, because they didn't make it to the playoffs yet. There was a couple weeks left in the season before there was probably like 3 weeks left in the season.
Damn.
I think, before the shutdown happened. So they extended the playoffs to 24 teams. The Sabres were 25th, of course, in the standings. So they didn't make it.
Of course. Why would they? Even when they had the highest chances to get in, they didn't.
And then the top 4 teams in each conference will play a round-robin series all against each other to get their rank in their conference. And then the other 8 teams in each conference are just going to play a best-of-5 series. And then after they do that, then they'll go into best-of-7 for the rest of it.
It'll definitely be interesting.
It'll be interesting, yeah. They're going to have 24 teams instead of 16 this year.
Same thing with the new NFL playoff fucking thing with the extra team in there.
Yeah, but that was planned.
Yeah, I know. I just want to. I'm excited to see how it's going to work.
Interesting, though. Yeah,
it's going to be like some random fucking team that doesn't mean anything.
It's always going to be. I've said this before, but like, yeah, it's going to be. If one conference is weak, like if they had this last year, an 8-8 team would have made it.
Yeah,
in the AFC. And
that's the thing. If like one side is way better,
a team that was 500 couldn't even win more games than they lost, they still made the playoffs. That's rough.
It's probably what's going to happen every year. There's going to be some random team that goes in, and it's just going to give one other team an extra playoff win. But we'll see. It'll be interesting. And if it doesn't work, I'm sure they'll get rid of it.
I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to last for because they made the CBA. I don't know. Probably 7-8 years. They're going to have to stick with it before they change it.
Every year it's going to be a shit show, probably. It's going to be like,
I don't know. I don't think they care because it's an extra playoff game every year.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, more money.
Yeah, literally. We could do extend it one more week. Haha.
Yeah, basically.
They might not even do that. They might just do like an extra game a day or something.
Yeah, there's just gonna be an extra game. Instead of like the way it was before, when 6 teams in each conference, the top 2 in each conference would get a bye. Now with the 7 teams, only the first seed gets a bye. And then everyone else plays each other. That's how it's gonna work.
Well, that'll be nice though. Everyone's going to want to be the first team to just barely make it in and then win the whole thing.
Yeah, literally. You're like 7th seed to the Super Bowl. Haha.
That'd be pretty sick, though.
I don't know when I think the last time a 6th seed won the Super Bowl was the Giants. When they beat the Patriots. I don't know if it was the first or the second time. I think it was the first time they did it. So it's been a while since a 6th seed has won.
Yeah, definitely. It would be interesting to see. Just some random, like 7 and 9 team just barely skirts in.
So a 7th seed fucking just wins the Super Bowl. That's rough.
People would probably be pretty triggered, except for the fans of that team. It'd be such a meme. I don't know. I'll take whatever any extra ability for the Bills to make the playoffs. I'll take. Sounds good to me. So even if we do relatively shitty, but everyone else did worse, we can just be like, haha, playoff time.
Like, the Bills had a good season last year. It's just the conference was so shitty. They easily made it in because they had such a good season.
Yeah. I want them to be good enough to be like, get into like extra rounds in the playoffs. I don't want them to just keep getting in the first fucking round and getting fucking out.
I mean, honestly, they should have beat Houston last year. That was bullshit, but...
what can you do?
I mean, yeah, there's nothing. It was Josh Allen's first playoff game. I mean, you gotta have experience. That's the biggest thing, is experience. Unless you're just so good. Unless you're like Patrick Mahomes and it doesn't fucking matter. You're always gonna ball out.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes just got that fat-ass contract.
Oh, yeah, his 10-year fucking... I don't even know how much money he's making a year, but a lot of money. He's the highest paid, and it's for 10 years.
Yeah. I don't know if it was a meme, but it was posted by Bleacher Report. so it could have been a meme or it could have been serious because they do both. But it was Dak Prescott wants $1 billion for 20 years.
It was probably. It sounds like a meme.
It sounds like a meme to me, but it also seems like he probably could have asked for that. Honestly, but it was hilarious when I saw that. It's like Dak Prescott asked for $1 billion and a 20-year contract.
That's a lot of fucking money. I don't think.
And 20 years after he's already been in the league for what, 4? 3?
Yeah. It's got to be a meme. There's no way.
And how many other quarterbacks, you could count on like a half of your hand how many quarterbacks have played for 20 years, let alone him, who's already fucking dying. No way. No possible way.
$1 billion is a fuck ton of money.
The Cowboys are worth like $5 billion. They're going to give a quarter of their, like a...
Yeah, there's no way. $1 billion is a lot of money.
There's no way.
People don't realize how big these fucking numbers are. Because I just hear them all the time.
Yeah.
Because, like, people like Jeff Bezos has fucking, like, $500 billion. And it's like, he could literally donate 1% of his money and still... That would still be more than most people make their entire lifetimes, like, tripled.
Yeah, $1 billion. You could do some damage with $1 billion in 20 years. Could you imagine Dak Prescott on a team for 20 years? Just being
It would
locked.
never happen. There's no way. The only player I can think of that has even played that long is like Tom Brady. And that's only because he's won so many fucking Super Bowls.
That's another thing. I'm so sick of hearing
And I mean, like, some kickers have played that long, but they're fucking kickers. They're not going to be asking for that type of money.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I'm so tired of hearing about the Buccaneers and fucking Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski. It's going to be a fucking shit show, and everyone's like, oh my god, the Buccaneers are going to be crazy this year, bro. It's like, I highly doubt it. They might do good, but I don't think they're going to be fucking hammering fucking Super Bowls out every year.
Tom Brady was already struggling last year. I can't think... Now that he's on a new team that he hasn't been able to practice with at all because of the shutdown, I don't think he's going to have that much success, but that's just me.
And then Rob Gronkowski coming back into the league, half the size he was when he fucking retired. And he's like, I'm going to do some fucking damage, bruh. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll fucking just tear it apart, but I don't see it happening.
I don't see it. I mean, I don't know. They still really don't have a run game in Tampa Bay, and that's what Brady needed. But, I mean, he does have better receivers in Tampa Bay than he did. So maybe he'll be able to throw it better, but who knows? I don't know.
We'll find out in a few months. We're getting close. 2 months.
Jameis Winston was able to throw all over the fucking place with that offense. And that's Jameis Winston, so who knows?
Do you hear that? What is that?
I think it's rain. I don't know. I think it's just water dripping down the side.
Could be. It's annoying as hell, though. Maybe it's a mouse in the wall. Fucking stupid assholes.
I don't think it would be a mouse, but it could be. I don't know what the fuck he'd be doing making all that noise for so long.
Who knows? Actually, I'm going to grab this water here.
Oh boy. You thirsty?
Hell yeah. Yeah, so life is very
football
unexciting lately. You think we had nothing to talk about before. Now that there's literally nothing going on at all.
Now we literally can't. We're not allowed to legally do anything, so now we really have nothing to talk about. I'd talk about fantasy football strategy, but I don't want to give away my plans for the year.
I doubt they watch this.
They probably don't.
It's okay.
But there's usually... Not that it's that important anyway, because quarterback isn't that important. People put way too much value on quarterback in fantasy. Like, I don't know what it says in the thing, but the fucking camera. Technical difficulties, maybe?
No, it didn't do anything.
Oh, what was it saying?
It's trying to tell me that my fucking camera is running out of storage, but it's not. Now it's saying it died.
I was expecting it to happen.
It doesn't even make any sense. The battery was full. My camera's just fucked. I don't know.
So we're gonna pause and figure it out.
No, it's dead. So.
It died?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll just keep going then.
That's fine. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I think I got a dud camera. Literally, I don't know if it's the card itself. Obviously, something's wrong with the camera because when I turned it on, the battery was full, and now it's not. It just died, so. It's annoying.
Oh, fun.
I want to get another camera, but I have to wait. Because I don't got any fucking money.
How long do you have to pay this one off?
It's almost done.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I don't have too much longer.
It was only a couple months then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I opted for the higher payments.
Oh.
So that's why it's just gonna... Because I don't want all that fucking interest. Because I did it with my phone last time, and I paid for a whole year, and I ended up paying like $800 more than the phone was worth, and I was like, fuck that.
Yeah, that's stupid.
So I just opted for the higher payment option this time. So it gets paid off in a couple months. But I don't want to keep doing it just because it's annoying getting money taken out every week.
But, yeah. Yeah, so, what was it? Fantasy football, I guess. I won the league last year. And generally what I do heading into the draft is I pick one player that I really want. And then everything else other than that is basically I just pick them as I go. And last year I got lucky. I've actually been lucky getting the guy that I want the past couple years. Last year I wanted Christian McCaffrey, who was going like second overall in most drafts anyway. But I ended up with the first overall pick, so I was able to take him. And he's literally the single reason I won the season, because he was just so good all year. And then I can't remember who it was the year before that, but it might have been 2 years before that. I wanted Russell Wilson. I ended up with Wilson, which again he was a good pick. Just the rest of my team was so shitty it didn't matter. This year, I don't know. I don't do a lot of research. I just kind of go off like who I think is going to be good, who had a good season before. But like usually if it's a quarterback, like I'm not super sold on any of the running backs or anything. I know who the good ones are, so I'll just take the best one I can get.
That's basically how I run it whenever I do it.
It all comes down to your draft pick. Like if I didn't get the first overall pick last year, there was absolutely no way I was getting Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
So I just got super lucky.
Yeah, I was in some random league last year. I don't know if I got it off Reddit or if it was literally just a random one out of the app. But I don't know. I did like average. I would win some games and I would lose some games. But I never really do any in-depth research. I always just go off who's the best, who could be the best. And then it almost never works out that way anyways.
Yeah, I don't know.
Plus, like 90% of the people that play fantasy football take it way too seriously, so they always get the good people.
That's why I want to do what's it called? A dynasty league, where you're like literally like the GM of a team and you draft a team and you keep those players for as long as you want for seasons, and you can trade them and you draft people every year like rookies and stuff.
That'd be crazy.
I want to do that. That'd be cool.
I've never actually heard of that before.
But yeah, what we do, we just do a yearly league. So just the players you have for the season, and then after the year they're all gone, and you redraft the next season.
Do you have to pay to do a dynasty league?
I mean, it's like any other league. I assume you probably just pay just to win. You have to find people. I mean, if you found one on the internet, maybe you could do it, but usually, basically what the money does is make sure that people actually give a fuck and actually keep playing. Even if they're not good, they'll at least attempt to
Yeah, because there's always that chance that they could win it.
They could just be like, it's just to keep them from being like, well, I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm not going to change my roster for the rest of the year.
Yeah, your dynasty league just dies off after a year.
That's usually what the money is for. It keeps people involved.
That'd be something pretty cool. You'd have to find a lot of people that would be willing to do it for years and years, though.
Zach has one with a couple other people. I wanted to join it, but he already has a full league, so I'd have to make sure. I would have to, like, literally take over someone else's team.
How many people are in a dynasty league?
It's the same as any normal league. You can have as many as you want. I think he has 12, maybe 10.
Jesus. That'd be interesting. It would definitely bring a whole different dynamic to it.
It's like being a GM of a real team. Like, you literally have to think, like, years in the future.
That'd be sick as fuck.
And you can trade, like, draft picks and shit. And, like, all this stuff like you would in real life.
I don't know if I'd have the mental capacity to do something like that. It's like, all right, well, Jeff Toole.
Sick. My franchise quarterback.
Just, you have like a 10-year-long dynasty league, and you just have Jeff Toole all 10 years.
He's not even in the league anymore, and he's still in your roster. That'd be sick.
It's like, yes. And someone's like, hey, you want to trade Jeff Toole? And you're like, fuck you. It's
That's
like,
what I did. I don't know if I did it. I think I did it last year. It might have been the year before that. But I just had... Like, I just had a Matt Schaub, a backup quarterback on my team, like, the whole year as a meme. I'm like, I'm not going to use that. Literally, like, we had so many roster spots. I'm like, I'm not going to use this extra bench spot. I'll just have a fucking meme player on here. I don't care.
Just to say that you have them.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty funny. And you just grab some random meme player, and then it's just like a backup quarterback, but then the actual quarterback gets hurt, and they're just stuck to playing. And they just ball the fuck out. You're like, lol, my meme player's working for me. I'm sure that's probably happened before.
Probably. That's how, I mean, like last year, I drafted Kenyon Drake last year when he was still on the Dolphins, like when the season started. And he did jack shit all year with the Dolphins, but I just kept him on my roster. I was like, I need another running back. I'm so weak at running back other than McCaffrey. I need him on my team. And he got traded to Arizona. And immediately he got to Arizona and just became like one of the best running backs in the league. I'm like, well, I got lucky.
Every time I've done fantasy football, I've always done garbage, but I just don't pay attention that much to every player in the league. So that's why I'm not too great at it. I'm just like, oh, this guy's
basically
good.
If you don't know, literally the ESPN app basically tells you if they're good or not anyway.
Yeah. That's what I usually base it off. I just like, oh, this says this guy's good, so I just draft all the best guys that are up.
That's how, I mean, there's someone in our league that won the league like 2 or 3 years straight, and he would literally just draft from what the ESPN app said.
Jesus.
Which was really stupid, and it pissed everybody off. So it was kind of funny that I won the league this year actually giving a fuck. Someone finally knocked him off. Like, literally, like, 3 years straight, he took Todd Gurley as his first overall pick. And it's like, what are you doing? He's gonna die. He literally... Like, the first 2 years, I understand. The first year, he was super young, and he had a good rookie season. So there was a chance that he'd do well, and he did. And then the second year, he was coming off that really good year. So, again, you could expect him to do well. But this year, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? He destroyed his knee... and can barely run anymore, and you're still going to draft him in the first round? What the fuck, man?
Yeah. Just get Aaron Rodgers.
Fuck that.
How about Drew Brees? You want Drew Brees this year?
Like I said, people put way too much value on quarterbacks in fantasy. The players that are going to get you the most points are the running backs and the receivers.
How much you want to bet the first overall pick for most people drafting this year is going to be fucking Mahomes?
It won't be. There's no way.
Dude, Mahomes
you gotta be
is
stupid.
sick.
I do think that, like I said, some people will pick like Mahomes second, third round, which I think is an awful idea. You legitimately, you can have the difference between the worst quarterback and the best quarterback is not that big. So unless you have like like last year, unless you had Jackson or Patrick Mahomes, the difference between all the other quarterbacks was so minuscule, it literally didn't matter. Like I said, Ryan Fitzpatrick basically won me the league last year, and I picked him up in the playoffs just because he was playing the Bengals. Like, it literally makes no difference. It comes down to matchup half the time.
Yeah.
But some people, I don't know, some people put way too much value in it. I would never draft a quarterback earlier than like the 6th, 7th round. Because they're just not, like I said, those first 5 rounds you have to be taking receivers and running backs. Because they're the ones who are actually going to score points every week.
Yeah, the big points. Your 20s and shit like that.
Like, quarterbacks can do that, but the chance that they're that... Like, the only reason that Jackson would do it so much last year was because he was just running all over the place.
Yeah,
and rushing touchdowns is worth more than a regular passing touchdown. I mean, it depends on the league. I think they were the same in our league, actually. A passing touchdown was the same as a rushing touchdown. But it didn't matter because he rushed anyway, and all those fucking rushing yards added up as well. And then Mahomes was similar. He got a fuck ton of touchdowns, but it was all through passing, even though he was injured, so that kind of... But all the passing yards added up, so it helps.
Yeah.
But other than that, most quarterbacks are going to score 2, maybe 3 touchdowns and get maybe 150, 250 yards a game.
Yeah.
So unless you got like someone like Mahomes who's going to throw 400 yards and 4 touchdowns a game, or Jackson who's going to throw 3 touchdowns and rush for 100 yards every game, it's really not that worth it.
Yeah, the big points always come from like running backs and receivers because they're the ones that are always doing shit.
They're the ones that are always going to get the ball, even though the quarterback always has the ball in his hand to start the play. He's giving it to someone else. So you gotta, I don't know, whatever. Like I said, so like this year, I don't really know what player. I mean, I kind of have an idea what player that I might like, but I don't know if he's going to be worth taking. Like I said, I still wouldn't take him before the 6th or 7th round because he's a quarterback. Before the actual like skill position players, as they're called, I have no fucking idea. I'm just going to take whoever falls to me that I think is good.
I don't know if I'm going to even do it this year. But nothing else is going on, so I'm sure I'll be able to probably be able to actually take it seriously and be like, oh, fuck. The last time I was in your guys' league, I tried to take it seriously, and it just didn't work out for me. I had like a whole notebook sheet and shit, and it didn't. I got like 4 of the players off the whole notebook sheet, and I was like, oh, I didn't really prepare for this. Lol.
Literally, the main thing I do, because I usually don't know the value of these players, I just do like 3 or 4 mock drafts on the ESPN app before we do our real draft, and that basically, usually I'll make a spreadsheet of when I took these players and when other players got taken, just so I know their general, where they might get taken, so I know if I'm like reaching on somebody or getting a steal on somebody, because generally they're going to be taken in this round. And it's like, oh wow, it's the 10th round and they still haven't been taken, I'm going to take him.
Yeah, I did a couple mock drafts. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but it was like every single one I did, the top 20 players were all exactly the same. And I was like, damn, looks like I'm never getting any of these guys.
Oh. Yeah, that's how it be. People are still high on... Like, Barkley and McCaffrey are definitely the 2 best players again this year. Everyone expects them to be 1 and 2. Which I think they're the 2 best players in the league, so I agree. But then, like, after that, it's basically, like, Michael Thomas, maybe, if Breeze throws to him as much as he's been. And then it's, like, Ezekiel Elliott if the Cowboys continue to be good. But I have no faith in Ezekiel Elliott at all.
Hell no.
I will never take Ezekiel Elliott. I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's that good anyway. Plus, the Cowboys' offense is going through transition with their new head coach. I don't think. They gave him that huge contract, and he just shit the bed.
How dare you disrespect America's team?
Fuck America's team. Cowboys are retarded.
those NFL, like, I follow NFL on Facebook, and, like, the comments are literally just, like, 2 IQ fucking people. And it's, like, these pictures, and it's like, yeah, this is gonna be my face when the Cowboys win Super Bowl this year. It's like, what are you talking about? Stop. Come on.
It's the same thing. Like, I always, whoever the best player was last year, I know never to take them the next year.
Oh, yeah.
That is my rule. I will never take. So this year, I will not take Christian McCaffrey because he was the number one player. As much as I love McCaffrey, he's there's no way he's going to have as good of a season. Same thing with Lamar Jackson. As much as I love Lamar Jackson, there's no way he's going to have as good of a year. If he does, well, then I guess I was wrong. But it's just not worth the chance.
Yeah, they always come in with the heightened ego and the talk on the fucking, like, the NFL news and the talk shows and stuff, like, oh, these guys are going to come back twice as hard this year, and then they always never do.
Because they have a whole offseason to figure them out and figure out what they were doing and why they were so good.
Yeah.
Let alone if they were actually, like, getting better or not. That's another thing. If you're the best player in the league, it's like, are you going to try that hard to get better if you already think you're the best?
Mm-hmm.
But to be the best player, you have to always constantly be getting better.
Yeah, and if you're already the best player, then you're more than likely not going to continue to be the best player. It's like, oh, Lamar Jackson is just so unstoppable. He just slips away, and then this year he's not going to get any rushing yards.
Like, I fully expect that to happen because people know to expect that he's going to run now. So you got to keep him contained. The thing that Jackson has going, Jackson can still throw pretty good, so that's what helps.
Yeah.
Because even in the Bills game that we went to, the Bills held him to, like, no rushing yards, but it didn't even matter because he was throwing a fuck ton of touchdowns anyway.
Yeah.
Like, he can do it. He knows what he's doing. It's just if you can let him run, he's definitely going to do that. But oh well. So yeah, I don't know.
That's what I'm worried about with Allen too. I feel like Allen's not going to be able to run as much because people are going to be like, bro, we can't let this dude run anymore.
Yeah, it's the same thing. But Allen, again, I feel like last year he definitely got better passing wise, other than his like, what's it called, like long passes,
deep throws.
Yeah, deep passes. He definitely got better in the short and the medium range passes.
Yeah, he was throwing some crazy balls that, like, you wouldn't even expect someone to actually try to throw, let alone actually make. He's like 3 people up next to my receiver. Ha! Throw anyway.
Which is, that's kind of stupid, but, he did it, so I guess it worked.
It's so hard to speculate because you never know what's going to happen. You're just like, maybe. I
don't know. This year's probably going to be completely crazy just because of the shutdown, the COVID shutdown, because literally they're going to start training camp up, and that's basically going to be the only practice these people had all year heading into the season. And they're probably not going to even have preseason games this year. Maybe 2 at most. They're not going to have more than 2 preseason games. I
think they already said they're only doing 2, didn't they?
There's no way they're going to have more than 2, and some people were saying that they want to get rid of all of the preseason games this year. So, like, it's week 1 is literally going to be like the first week of the preseason. It's going to be fucking insane.
It's going to be horrible.
Like these 17 weeks are going to be all over the place probably.
Everyone's going to lose. Every team starts off 0-1 somehow.
That's impressive. Every team ties or loses.
Every team ties for the first, 5 weeks.
That'd be sick, though.
It's like, what the fuck? It's like 90 football games, and they're all tied. It's like, Well, nothing really much else to talk about now. The fucking camera shut off, so I'm pretty triggered about that.
Yeah, it's a little short, but it's going to be kind of shitty because there's going to be not video for half the fucking thing.
Yeah. The battery said full when I turned it on, so... And it wasn't cold, so it wasn't a fucking fake read. I don't know. It's
Literally, before the video we even started, Josh was like, what technical difficulties will we have this time?
Yeah, it happens every time.
Literally every time we make a podcast, the camera shuts off or the mics stop working for some reason, or there's always some stupid shit.
It's bound to happen, but we live up to our name, I guess.
Yes, Lamentable.
It's very cool. But yeah, so that was episode 27, I'm pretty sure. As always, you can subscribe, that little red bar down there. Definitely make that a gray bar, you know what I'm saying? Hit that like button.
Smash it.
Yeah, so take the biggest hammer you can find and just fucking hit your mouse with it right over top of the like button.
Yes.
That's how we know that you really give a fuck, And then follow us on our other social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whichever your favorite one is that you use most often, because they're all the same. I just post the same stuff on all of them, which doesn't really make much sense, but what can you do?
I mean, we have like 5 followers, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, literally. Our Instagram has 81 followers, I think.
I'm sure like 40 of them are just fake spam accounts.
Probably.
It's Instagram.
Yeah, more than likely. Like, whoa, you did hashtag YouTube follow.
Literally. And then you click on their page, and it's like, see sexy video at scamlink.ru. And I'm like, yes, I will click that.
Definitely not a fake link at all. Definitely won't give me any kind of viruses or anything.
It's like, call this Indian phone number so they can give you your refund because you bought an Apple PC.
On a random fucking Instagram bio. Very cool.
Shout out to Kitboga. Scam trolling.
All right. And yeah, that was Lamentable Podcast. Thank you. Don't forget to watch Spider-Man 1.